Fever star Caitlin Clark wins hearts in New York after wholesome moments with Liberty fans. Caitlin Clark didn't suit up for the Indiana Fever's recent 98-84 loss to the New York Liberty, but she stole the show anyway. At the Barclays Center, thousands of fans packed the arena not just for basketball, but for a chance to catch a glimpse of one of the WNBA's biggest stars. Even without playing a single minute, Clark proved why she's become the league's most captivating figure. Why does Caitlin Clark command such fan devotion? Before tip-off, Clark reportedly signed more than 100 autographs for eager fans. After the final buzzer, the 23-year-old continued her fan interaction, signing more autographs and taking pictures with supporters of all ages. This dedication to the fans shows exactly why she's become the most popular player in the WNBA. Clark's popularity with fans extends beyond casual interactions. She became one of the captains in the All-Star game by receiving the most fan votes. However, many of Clark's WNBA colleagues allegedly don't share the same sentiment, as she received fewer votes from them. How do fans rally behind Clark amid league tensions? Despite the alleged tension from other WNBA players, fans continue to support Clark. At the Commissioner's Cup, one fan went viral when she showed a placard that read, "Ninth in your rankings, but first in your nightmares." Clark's recent injury struggles have kept her off the court for key games. She didn't play in the Fever's Commissioner's Cup victory over the heavily favored Minnesota Lynx due to a groin injury. The same injury forced her to miss the All-Star game, which led to controversy during the post-game press conference. The tension centered around remarks from Team Nafisa Collier's Kelsey Plum. Many All-Stars had worn T-shirts with "Pay us what you owe us" written on them as a symbolic protest related to recent discussions between the WNBPA and the WNBA. The current collective bargaining agreement is set to expire after this season. Plum appeared to criticize Team Clark for missing their meeting before wearing the protest attire. Many analysts and Clark fans viewed these comments as cheap shots against the WNBA's biggest draw. What did Colin Cowherd say about the WNBA drama? In a recent episode of The Herd with Colin Cowherd, the sportscaster addressed the controversy, specifically criticizing Plum's approach. "So the T-shirts don't bother me," Cowherd said. "But why do you take a shot at the Golden Goose, Caitlin Clark? You guys were flying before she arrived on one of those airlines that made you pay for a cup of water. One of those airlines where the planes are the color of a highlighter. Now you're flying private." Cowherd urged WNBA players to stop the public infighting and recognize Clark's value to the league. He warned that continued internal conflicts could derail the momentum Clark has created and hurt the league overall. "And here's the other thing to remember," Cowherd said. "Caitlin Clark's already rich. She made $1 million this year alone in endorsements off the court. So regardless of how these negotiations go, she's set. Nobody else is, right? So when somebody joins the band and everything gets upgraded, just be happy." While many have criticized the WNBA for asking for more than a 9% revenue share, Cowherd supports the player's position. He believes the league is finally seeing improvement after decades of investment, and players should be compensated accordingly. The rivalry was real, the tension electric, but in the heart of New York, something unexpected happened. Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever's rookie phenom, the sharpshooting sensation from Iowa, and the WNBA's most talked-about player, walked into Barclays Center expecting noise, pressure, and the usual chilly welcome a visiting star receives in the Big Apple. What she got instead? A moment of magic. A moment that would remind the basketball world that even in the heat of competition, humanity still shines. The build-up, lights, pressure, New York. The Fever versus Liberty matchup had all the makings of a blockbuster. Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart leading a dominant Liberty squad. Caitlin Clark, the rookie shaking up the WNBA, trying to carve out wins for a gritty Indiana team still finding its identity. New York fans are known for their passion and their brutal honesty. Visiting stars are often greeted with boos, jeers, and taunts that make even seasoned pros flinch. But when Caitlin Clark emerged from the tunnel in her Red Fever warm-ups, something shifted. There were no boos. Instead, the arena buzzed with something different. Anticipation, admiration, a strange kind of affection. Signs waved from every corner. "Clark in the city. Brooklyn Heart Sue Caitlin. Can we clone her for the Liberty?" It was the kind of welcome that no one, especially not Clark, expected. The first wholesome moment, one fan, one hug. During warm-ups, a little girl in a Liberty jersey stood courtside holding a hand-drawn poster that read, "Caitlin, you inspire me to hoop." She couldn't have been more than 8 years old, her ponytail swinging like a miniature version of Clark herself. Caitlin noticed the sign, jogged over, and knelt down. "What's your name?" she asked. "Zoe." "You play basketball too, Zoe?" The girl nodded, starstruck. Without hesitation, Caitlin peeled off one of her wristbands and handed it to her. Then, to the surprise of everyone watching, including security, she pulled Zoe into a hug. The moment was caught on camera. Within minutes, it was trending under the hashtag Clark in the city. It wasn't about stats. It wasn't about rivalry. It was pure, unfiltered connection. Mid-game respect. The game itself was a thriller. The Liberty threw everything they had at Clark, double teams, full court pressure, veteran traps, but she handled it with her usual poise. A deep logo 3 in the third quarter sent even some Liberty fans to their feet. You could hear audible gasps from the crowd every time she pulled up in transition or threaded a pass through traffic. She finished with 23 points, 7 assists, and an entire borough's admiration. But it wasn't her performance that stuck the most. It was the way she picked up a fallen Jonquil Jones after a hard foul, exchanging a quick fist bump and a smile. Or how she tapped Sabrina on the back after a clutch 3, whispering something with a grin before jogging back to the huddle. Rivals? Yes. But there was a mutual respect, a visible acknowledgement that greatness recognizes greatness. After the game, a moment for the people. Following the buzzer, Caitlin didn't sprint to the locker room like most visiting players do in hostile environments. She stayed. She signed autographs, took selfies, talked to fans in both Fever and Liberty gear. At one point, a group of teens who had waited for her for over an hour broke into a chant. MVP. MVP. One older fan, maybe in his 60s, approached her with a signed Liberty basketball. "I've been watching this league since it started," he said. "You're the real deal, kid. Keep it up." Caitlin smiled and replied, "Appreciate you. Means a lot." In a city that famously doesn't show love easily, Caitlin Clark had done the improbable. She'd won over New York. The next morning, media buzz and fan love. The next day, back pages of sports sections in NYC newspapers read, like fan mail, "Clark captivates Brooklyn crowd. Rookie star veteran grace, Caitlin's big Apple breakthrough. She may be Fever, but New York's got the Clark flu."